Okay, welcome back. You're still thinking about perhaps the whole reformation that Dangote is engaged in the petroleum production and distribution sector. Okay, that's to one side. Let's sort of have a change of subject now. The Gale of defections. That's another subject matter that Nigeria has been grappling with. You've heard the president talk about it. When I say president talk about it, the question was brought up and he said, look, what do you want me to do? What should we do? Talking about his party. What should we do? If people are trying to escape a sinking ship, will you blame us? Can anybody blame them? One, and two, can anybody blame us for opening up our doors for people to, reach safety? That was the way he put it. No doubt he was being a party man there. But somebody that can talk about all of that is Bolaji Adeniji. He's a communications consultant. He's also an Ogun State APC chieftain and the convener of the Ogun West initiative. Good morning and thank you very much for coming.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Indeed, our pleasure. So, talk to me about the Gale of defections, the way we've put it. It really is something of a gale. And there are people, speaking for those who actually own those defectors. Now somebody else is owning them, seeing as they're defecting. They are saying that those people simply lack principle. That, that those that are principled politicians will stay the course and indeed will come back strong. But what's your take on this whole Gale? I just gave you the president's take. Yes. So I don't know what your take is.
Well, first off, the president has said it as it is. He is the leader of the party. He is the president. And he's not responsible for people who cannot put their house in order. And
that's another bab that the president's talking about.
When people talk about the one-party state, that the president is unwittingly driving the nation in that direction, you ask yourself a question that, has it stopped parties from having their executive committees?
Exactly.
Has it stopped parties from organizing their congresses or coagulating together, doing meetings? That has never happened.
The president has even said there's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
No such thing.
And so what people have misinterpreted as a one-party state is this tendency that we are seeing, that people are moving away from their party. And you ask yourself a question that, why are people moving away? The next election is on the horizon in 2027. And people do politics, first off, to pursue personal ambition or group objectives. And when they see that their political parties, does not appear to be strong enough to realize such objectives, necessarily so, they look for other platforms to achieve their objectives. The APC is well-grounded, very stable at this time amongst other parties. And so we know what's happening with the PDP. The leadership crisis keeps festering. The Labour Party is not here nor there. It's still one week or the other, one crisis. Who's actually the national chairman today? Abure is in court tomorrow. It's like that. And some other parties, we don't even know what is happening there. What we are seeing is politicians moving across board, talking together. They are trying to form a coalition. Maybe they can now have a formidable front to challenge President Tinubu. So that's what we have.
Does that worry you? Because they are continuing their efforts towards this coalition. And there's a sense in which if they could get a strong enough coalition, it might be worrying to the APC, or you don't see that on the horizon.
Well, I do not see that on the horizon. You see, I said this at the outset of 2023 elections when we saw this movement to try to stop the progressive from gaining power. And I said, look, if you want to build a platform that has a pan-Nigerian outlook, strong enough, deep enough to be able to challenge the ruling party, you don't start doing that some months or when the elections are coming and then people just cobble together and then begin to look for a way. It's just another avenue to get access to power, ultimately. And so you ask yourself a question, how deep will the coalition be? At the end of the day, they will morph into a political party. they need time to form a party. They need time to deepen that party, to get it to the unit, every unit in Nigeria, to get it to the wards, to get it to the local government, and then to begin to sell its ideal to the people. So all of this takes time. They need resources. They need a lot to make it strong enough to challenge the APC.
And you seem confident that they will not necessarily acquire all that they need in time for the objective, which is to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu electorally.
They will not have that time to do that. It may appear, look, by November, by the 1st of November, according to what we see or what we know with the INEC timetable, candidates or aspirants are free to declare their intentions to run. And by the end of April 2025, 2026, okay, we are going to 26, INEC has to list the candidate. And so you ask yourself, these people who are coming together, what are their personal objectives? Who is stepping down for who? Have they resolved that the presidency is going to the north or to the south? So there are still serious questions. If you go into the midst of the coalition, or is it people who are trying to come together now, these questions.
Those who are coalescing into
the coalition
into
people,
a coalition.
Yes, the people who are coalescing into a coalition, they are not able to answer this question within themselves. And so until they are able to resolve that, and they can say, okay, this is going to be the fulcrum for presidency. This is going to be people who are looking at subnational positions. And then this is the particular political party. If the PDP stands as a party, I don't see the PDP coalition under any party. It's a big party. And so if the PDP exists as a party, the APC exists as a party, whatever is the coalition will just be a third force. And Nigeria is not yet, created in that gap to embrace a third force. For a third force to indeed work in Nigeria, which it has not even worked in other climes, it's always a bit to the right and to the left. Is it the UK? Is it America? Or even Spain, Ghana, and even Nigeria? It's always the two big parties. And so for the third one to come on board, you need that time to build that national consensus that will say, okay, these are the people that are behind this. This is the ideology. It's not about naked ambition to be president. The big 3 or 4 people in that coalition, in the Morphin coalition, they all want to be president.
Yes, they do.
They all want to be president.
Yes.
And so,
in fact, I was even wondering on my own, say, look, a lot of people that are moving to the APC is probably because they feel a bit constrained within their own party. They feel a bit squeezed.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, going to the APC, there are people who are going to be ranking members of the APC already. And as they are welcoming people, everybody has their own interest. Are they sure they're going to find a comfortable accommodation? That's one of the things I look at. Yes, it's different when the APC definitely headhunts a person. As for instance, the president has made an open invite to Minister Wike. He has said that he's not one of us yet, but anytime he changes his mind, we'll be ready to receive him. You couldn't have had a better invitation. He still hasn't made up his mind, has he?
He's sitting pretty within that environment, and he has a role to play already. And so, you see, the APC is big, and for those people coming in, there are 2 objectives. There are people who are coming in to safeguard what they have on the hand as at now, and there are people who are hoping that what they are looking ahead for, they can get it. So people want to preserve their current fiefdom. There are people who are open to expand and have access to what they can get in. There's even a governor who said, look, I don't want to risk anything. I don't want to be in a situation whereby in the next few months, I'll become the candidate of the party for a second time, and then a court just says, no, the list submitted by anyone is authentic, I'm no longer a candidate. So that is a big risk. So for many reasons, we have these people coming in. Some will have their objective met. Some may be disappointed, but they will take it with equanimity.
Initially, at least. You can't complain.
I can't complain.
Bashorun has called in from Iyanokpaja. Good morning, Bashorun.
Uncle Yori, I'm grateful that you linked up today.
Okay.
It's nice. I've been calling since the issue of petroleum thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Our guest during the presidential issue analyzed a lot of advantages. The most crucial advantage I even saw in this Dangote initiative is that those unnecessary strike,
okay,
those unnecessary by the Tanker Driver Association has already been eliminated. Today, past year, they say they will not probably go on strike. It's gone. Then coming to this issue, coming to this issue of opposition,
defections to APC.
APC. My brother, let everybody put their houses in order. I remember the last Ondo State election. 1 month to Ondo State election, everybody in PDP, they left their party and they came to APC. Everybody. In fact, he was giving us concern that what is Nigeria people? Are they coming to scatter the party for us? But at the end of the day, we knew that they know that they cannot do anything. Yesterday, Jonathan, vice president, joined APC. Is it one of the people that went to lobby him? Is it one of the people that went to lobby him? Like our guest said just now, by October, they will declare full-fledged campaign time. April next year, nomination will start. Who is that same person that want to contest election under PDP that will stay there? When he doesn't know who can nominate him.
Okay.
They called next meeting, they called next meeting, INEC, just last week. INEC rejected it that it was not properly signed. Every human being that has a vision cannot stay in APC.
MPDP, you mean?
Like my brother said, there are those people who are listening. These people who are listening. If we look at them, how many of them can win their state? Probably, I think nobody can win their state among all of them. The argument of that, this coalition, everybody will not be able to enter Kaduna. The last man standing Kaduna is the former vice president of Jonathan, Nana Disambo. Yesterday, John APC. So why should anybody be afraid of anybody coalition?
Yeah.
Bola Tinubu faced his business, concentrating. We are getting there, we are moving there.
Indeed.
Very soon, I know all of them that is condemned Bola Tinubu. In fact, the way I'm still thinking from my own objective analysis, when Bola Tinubu finish his second term, they are general uprising without anybody motivated them that Bola Tinubu should continue. I'm telling you, sir, we are in this country, we know Nigerians. We know Nigeria. By the end of second term, Bola Tinubu, people will just rise. That Bola Tinubu continue.
Okay. The law doesn't allow that. As of this moment we're speaking, as you know, the law doesn't allow that. But thank you very much, Bashorun in Yanokwaja, for calling in. What he's saying is that he's like answering the question that, why would people not... In fact, it's like his own variant on the president's comment on the situation that you see people jumping from a sinking ship. What do you want us to do apart from welcome them to a sound vessel,
that can take them
to where they need to be? Now, talk to me a bit about you're the convener of Ogun West Initiative.
Yes.
Let me get to understand that Ogun West Initiative.
Okay, thank you. And I will draw the nexus from where we are coming from.
Okay.
Ogun West Initiative, first off, is a social advocacy group that is talking about the development, emancipation, and growth of the people of Ogun West Central District who are asking for emancipation after 50 years in Ogun State, where they have not been able to produce the governor. And aside of that, they are lacking in terms of development. Now, let me create that nexus from where I'm coming from. For those who are asking and agitating for a change,
yes,
and saying we want to take out the status quo,
yes,
and we have something to offer, you must first ask them that what is the underlying fundamental? Mm-hmm. In our case, it's about development. Are people asking for power to say, okay, I now have power?
Yes.
I want to be president now. That's why I'm fighting. It's not about Nigeria needs to change. There needs to be a paradigm shift. There's a better alternative here. That's what we are offering.
So that's what Ogun
West is asking for, what we are doing, Ogun West Initiative, is bringing to the front burner the conversation around emancipation in Ogun State. Okay. That in the 50 years of Ogun State, that only 2 senatorial districts
have produced
the governor, Ogun Central and Ogun East, while the people of Ogun West have not been able to do so due to a lot of factors.
Ogun North and Kogo.
There's no north. We only have west. We only have west, east, and central.
Okay.
And beyond the power, because there's always a nexus between power and development. And if you go to that state today, you see that part of the state, the Yewa Wari part, the West part, is lacking in infrastructure, in the dividends of democracy.
Okay, so I get you, because we had to keep it brief, but thank you very much. I got you. Meanwhile, Elder David, good morning, sir, and thank you for holding on if you're still there. Elder,
good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
We have to keep it brief, but thank you very much. I got you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Please carry on. Please carry on, sir. Elder David.
Yes.
All right.
The first one you are saying is not a surprise thing. Nigeria cannot be deceived. We are talking of grassroots politics. This government have done so well that the people at the grassroots want this government to continue to 2031. Look at what the president's wife is doing. The governor's wife are now super governor in their states. Distributing amenities and others. What of the free education at all levels to university level? What of the road network? Then what are we talking about? Those who are defecting, they know very well that by 2027, if they don't go and join the party that is there now, they will never win election. That is very correct. And those in the other side, who are they? We know their record. They can never win election. As for Obi, he was impeached in Anambra because of bad governance. Atiku himself was just a vice president. I've never ruled any state before. And he cannot even get vote in his own place. As for El-Rufai, he has never been in the Senate or House of Rep. We know how he messed up what happened in Kaduna State. So there is no problem about that. The man will be there in 2031, and by this time next year, we are expecting Saraki, he will be there.
Okay, well, thank you very much for calling in, Elder David. Well, right now, APC seems to be on a roll. It seems to be the party, that everybody wants to join in on. We're sort of watching a number of states. I think Osun is one of those places we're watching to see what exactly is going to pan out there.
Yes,
between
Adeleke and Moyetola.
Yes,
so coming election.
One doesn't know because there's some, shall I say, rumblings of apprehension there that we have our own arrangement here. But that arrangement, party interest, Tinubu has been a very staunch advocate of party supremacy.
Absolutely.
The party can come along and say that, look, in the interest of the party and indeed ultimately the people, this is how we should be traveling. And at that stage, I suppose everybody would have to sort of consider the matter.
I think that is why there's this apprehension. If it were left to the internal politics of Osun State, the people, like Oyetola said, that is ready to lead the party back to victory in the state. But the moment they saw that handshake, that evolving relationship between Adeleke and the Mr. President, it sent another signal that, hey, come, what's happening?
What's happening here?
There's this apprehension that does it suggest that the effort that they think that could affect the effort to bring back the APC into the state. And if push comes to shove, is Adeleke trying to also jump ship? If it does that, then it becomes an anticlimax for them and all those people who feel that they also have something they look up to if they get access to power in Osun State via the platform of the APC. And so for them, they are waiting with bated breath to understand the full import or extent of this relationship between Adeleke and Mr. President.
Babanla, bated breath.
Is bated breath. And so is he trying to be friendly with Mr. President? Are they trying to have a situation whereby
politicians don't do anything without a certain interest being involved?
Absolutely.
And you could see that he went strong. He went strong. Him and his elder brother went in there quite strongly. There were even other people that didn't necessarily show
their faces.
This is the kind of thing that politics is all about. And you were just explaining that you are concentrating more. Well, when I say concentrating more, the Ogun West Initiative, when you were telling me about the Ogun West Initiative, how you could bring the state, the senatorial district that so far hasn't really produced the ultimate public servant. You think that it should have its... So the Yewa people, you think they should have their own turn too?
Yes, it is. That talks about equity, that talks about fairness, that talks about justice, where every component part is able to also have a sense of belonging in any nation, state, or subnational. That no part, should rub it over any other part. And development must be total. Development must be comprehensive. It must not be tilted in one direction or in one part than the other, because the resources belongs to everybody in that state. And we all know that there's always a nexus between development and power. When you see power, development gravitates in that direction. And it's no rocket science that if you look at those two other parts of the state, you see development in that environment. And so the people have been agitating for quite a long while for that to happen. A lot of external factors have mitigated against it, some conspiracies and here and there, and some disunity within the system. But then all those things are changing a bit, and the people are hopeful that this time around, they will just have to get it, that the political system in that state must have to come together and, just let the people of Ogun West have it this time around, so that there can be equity, there can be fairness.
Okay. A producer was just saying into my ear that at that time when you were talking about other political configurations, yes, you missed out SDP and the Adebayos of this world.
Well, SDP is a major factor in the coalition, and we know Adebayo was a candidate of the party, of the SDP in the last election. Vibrant, good young man. Those are the young Nigerians that we can begin to look at for some form of level of leadership because of his capacity, his brilliance, his cerebral. And every government, every nation should have him play one role or the other in that country. Everybody cannot be president, but you see, when you see people like that and aspiring for leadership, they must just be factored. There must be a way to bring them in and say, okay, you can play this role. Presidency is just one. So you can't have our bright minds, all our bright young minds, all wanting to be president, and dragging it with the likes of articles of this world who have become veteran in the game. So for people like that, they just have to find a role for them in that system for all that they bring to the table.
Well, Bolaji Adeniji, I think we're going to have to leave it here. It's a very, very interesting conversation, yes, but as you know, when Nigerians get together and are speaking politics, talking politics, it can go on for quite a long while. But I want to thank you very much, Bolaji Adeniji.
Thank you very much for having me.
Really appreciate you coming in. Okay, then, we're going to have to leave it there for now. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Fulani. Bye-bye for now.